In this lesson, we will be creating driver list player component, so we can combine more driver animation and they will behave as a one. Let's get started. Let's create new C# script and let's call it driver list player. Let's open it, clean the file. Let's start adding variables and they will be pretty similar to our driver class. First, we need our list to be played in direction. So let's add public bool play forward. Next, we need a list of our drivers so they can be played in order. So let's write public list with the type of driver with the name animList. Next, we need public float wait in between variable. So our drivers in a list will not be played all at once, but they will have some waiting time. Next, let's add auto start feature. So let's write public bool auto start with the default value of false. Also, we will be using same wait settings class and event settings class, which we are using inside our driver. So let's write public wait settings wait and public event settings event. Now let's write our coroutine with a public IEnumerator list runner with a bool forward parameter, which will be defining direction of playback. Inside, let's write for each driver in animList, we want to run our driver with a forward and myDriver.progress as parameters. Now we need to check if you want to wait some time to run next driver. So let's write if wait in between doesn't equal 0. Let's write yield return new wait for a second with a wait in between as a parameter. Now let's change the color. Now basic functionality of this coroutine is finished. So let's add wait settings. We can just copy and paste the code from our driver. So let's open the driver. Select the wait settings part of our code, copy it and paste it to our coroutine. Let's fix it by removing settings.prefix. And now the wait settings are finished. So let's add the events. And let's make very simple events. Start event at the beginning. And end event at the end of our coroutine. Now let's create variable where we can store our coroutine. So let's write IEnumerator my coroutine. Now let's write method for running our coroutine list. So let's write public void run list with a bool forward as a parameter. And inside, first let's check if our coroutine exists. And if yes, let's stop it. And then assign to our coroutine variable our list runner with a forward parameter. And now we can run it with a start coroutine and my coroutine as a parameter. Let's create other method for playing our list, but this one will be without parameter. So let's write public void playlist in direction. And inside let's write run list with play forward as a parameter. Now let's implement auto start. So let's create start method and inside if auto start equals true, let's playlist in direction. Now the last method we need to implement is to reset progress of our drivers inside list runner. So let's write public void reset progress with a bool to start as a parameter. And inside let's write for each var my driver in animList. Let's do my driver.reset progress to start. Now let's save the file and change the colors. And let's test it. Inside editor, select driver tester game object and delete it. And let's create new game object and call it single animations, where we will be storing all our animations. And inside, let's create two game objects. First, let's call fill image. And second, let's call scale image. First, select fill image, add the driver component, change duration to 1, and also add controller image, open StarBG game object, and drag and drop star image into our myImage variable. Now click on Anim curve, and let's change it to be straight. Let's press preview and check our animation. It's working nice, so turn it off. Now let's select scale image game object. Let's add driver. Also add control transform. Change the anim type to scale. And let's drag and drop StarBG game object into my transform variable. Now let's change from variable to 1 and to variable to 1.2. Let's change the anim curve, which will go from 0 to 1 and back to 0. Change duration of a driver to 1. Turn on preview. And we see animation is working, but our star is bigger. And we also see our initial value in initial string is 0.8. So let's fix from and to values. And now let's try it. And we see everything is working how we want. So let's turn off the preview. Let's create new game object called list player and add our driver list player component on it. Now fill the animation list with our two single animations. First will be fill image and second will be scale image. Change the play forward variable to be true. Also change auto start to be true. And also change wait in between to be 1 second. Let's test it. And we see our list player is first playing fill image animation and then scale image animation. So now we can combine more animations together. Just keep in mind, the scale animation is not waiting to the end of the first animation. It is just waiting 1 second after the first animation is played, but we can fix it. So let's open the driver list player. First, let's change the default value for play forward to be always true. And then let's create public enum wait type with the two options. First will be run all at once, and second will be wait for previous to finish. Then add public wait type to our driver list player variables. And inside our coroutine for each loop, let's write if wait type equals wait type dot run all at once. Let's put our driver run inside curly brackets. Now let's write the second option. If wait type equals wait type dot wait for previous to finish. Let's copy and paste my driver run method. Now we need to figure out how to check if a driver already finished, but we can do it easily by creating custom yield instruction class. So let's write yield return new custom yield driver finished. And let's put my driver as a parameter. And now we need to implement this method. So let's click on IEnumerator folder. Let's create custom yield instruction folder. And inside, let's create new C# script and let's call it custom driver yield instruction. Let's open it. Let's clean the file. Also clean the name with the class. And let's create public class. Now we need to use the same name as we was using in our list player. So let's select it, copy it, and paste it. And don't forget to inherit custom yield instruction class. Now we need to implement abstract class. We will finish this later, but for now let's create private driver myDriver variable. Next we can write ctor as a shortcut for constructor and double press tab key, and the class constructor will be created. We just need to add driver parameter with the name underscore myDriver, and inside let's connect myDriver equals underscore myDriver. Now let's fix the keep waiting property. So let's delete system.notImplementedException. To explain how keep waiting property is working, first imagine that this custom yield instruction class is a coroutine. And this coroutine is running over and over until it gets impulse to be stopped. And we can manage this impulse inside keep waiting property. So when the keep waiting property is true, the coroutine is running over and over. But when is false, coroutine will finish and we can continue. So let's find a way to check if our driver coroutine is running or not. Let's write getter with the return of myDriver. And now we need to use some variable inside our driver, which will be telling us if the driver is running or not. So let's open the driver. And we see we are already using running variable, and it can be modified so we can use it for our purpose. First, remove a bool type in front of it, and let's bring it up to be public bool running variable with the default value of false. And also let's hide it in an inspector. Now, to know if our coroutine stops, let's create running equals false at the end of our coroutine. And also we need to add running equals false to our stop function, because after stopping it, we don't want our running value to be true. Let's save our driver and let's go back to our custom yield instruction coroutine. And let's use our new running variable for our keep waiting property. Let's save it and let's go back to our driver list player. Save it as well and let's test it. First select fill image game object and change duration to 3. And select list player and change wait in between to 0. The wait type is run all at once. So now all animation should start at once. So let's try it. And we see the image is filled while the scale is changed, so everything works fine. Now let's change the wait type to wait for previous to finish, and let's try it. And we can see the second animation is waiting until the first one is finished. So we can see our custom yield instruction is working. So that's it for this lesson, and see you in the next one.